All right, everybody, welcome back for part two. Bobby, what all types of cars or chassis brands do you remember racing?
Well, we built Gary Monroe built we built all our own cars all the way until a Boyce chassis. That was the first fabricated chassis welded together. Gary Monroe welded it together.
It was like a kit chassis?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And then what other chassis did you have?
We had a Gigolo out of Georgia,
Okay.
and then we had a Hull chassis.
Okay. Were any of those chassis a game changer?
Yes, they were.
All of them?
The Gigolo for sure.
Definitely.
And the Hull car.
Okay. Okay. What was your favorite car and why?
Well, like I say, I was working night and day too to keep this thing afloat, and the best division I was in was actually the Superstock, as far as maintaining and expense wise.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most comfortable I felt. Loved the late models, loved them, but you had to have some equipment.
Yep. Yep. Back in your career, who were some of your biggest competitors that you had to race against?
Well, of course, early on, it was Billy Nelson, Dick Wilhelm, Harry the Horse Thief from Grand Rapids, and you could throw in 10 more, and that was a start. And then, when we moved up to late model, then of course you got the Tommy Nesbitts, the Johnny Joneses, Johnny Johnson, Eliassons. I don't know. You kind of got me here. I mean, I should remember all of this.
Well, there's definitely a lot of them.
Leon Plank, Phil Prusak. There were some good ones.
Okay. Now, you're a member of the Hibbing Raceway Hall of Fame, right?
Yes, sir.
Were you inducted in that in the inaugural class then of the first?
I don't really know how they went about it. I really didn't want it because I don't know. I appreciated getting it, but there was probably a lot more people that should have got that than
Well,
me.
I think you were definitely worthy of it, Bob. If you could go back in time for your racing career, is there anything you'd do different or anything that you regret not doing?
I don't regret not doing anything. As far as changing things, I don't think there was anything I could change. I learned as hard and fast as I could, and let me tell you, the first 4 or 5 years I was in racing, I got a face full of mud. I'm going to tell you that right now. But I loved the sport. I really did. I didn't know why. Was I a mechanic when I started? No. Did I have tools? No, I didn't have nothing. But I
had the love of the
sport. Loved that sport.
Mm-hmm. And like anything, you got to stick with it a while. Racing's definitely a lot harder than it looks.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Do you have any idea of how many track championships you've won or feature races that you've won?
Features, I think it was right around 165, 175. Track champions, I think we had 15 or 16.
Okay. Are there any drivers that you remember during your racing career, whether way back then or almost current days, that you think were just raw drivers with just pure talent that could really wheel a car?
Boy, I don't know how to answer. There was probably a lot of them.
But does anybody stick out in your head, like one, maybe two guys really stick out in your head that you thought were just good natural drivers?
Boy, probably there's probably 10 of them. I don't know how to answer that, to be honest.
Okay.
Oh, yes, there is one. Yes, there is one.
Okay.
Kurt Hansen.
He's like from Iowa, number 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get to know him well. I talked to him a couple of times, but he seemed like, to me, he was a pure driver. But, who am I to judge?
Mm-hmm. Okay. At the end of your career, why did you finally get out of racing?
Well, I had other obligations. Otherwise, I never would have gotten out.
You'd probably still be in one.
Yeah, and then things spiral from here to there.
Okay. All right. Well, this concludes part 2 of our interview, and stay tuned for part 3.